13 years. That's how long fans have been asking for one location. Every Forza Horizon announcement. Same question in the comments. When Japan? Under every trailer, under every post, under every interview. Colorado? Cool. But when Japan? Australia? Wow. But when Japan? Mexico? Beautiful, but when Japan? On May 19th, 2026, we finally get our answer. Forza Horizon 6. Japan. The birthplace of drifting. The land of Initial D and Wangan Midnight. A place where car culture is a religion. And this video is about how two studios from different continents built a franchise that can afford to make fans wait 13 years. Tokyo Game Show. September 25th, 2025. Mount Fuji appears on screen. The camera soars over a lake, through a tunnel, past cherry blossoms, and bursts onto Tokyo's multi-level expressways. The internet exploded. Finally! I've waited my whole life. They actually did it! The trailer hit millions of views within hours. For the first time in a long while, a racing game became the top story in gaming news. Why Japan? Because no other country has this kind of connection to car culture. Tokyo's expressways, where street racers tore through the night in Skylines and Supras. Mountain passes where drifting was born. Daikoku, the legendary parking lot where hundreds of enthusiasts gather every night. K-cars, tiny vehicles that only exist in Japan. VIP-style, slammed sedans with massive wheels. Itasha, cars wrapped in anime characters. This isn't just a country with beautiful roads. This is a country where cars are part of your identity. And Playground Games decided to show all of it. Tokyo in Forza Horizon 6 is the biggest city in the series' history. 5 times larger than any previous one. Multi-level highways where you can race at 20-story heights. Narrow streets where barely one car fits. Neon-lit districts at night. Quiet suburbs by day. Mountain passes at the foot of Mount Fuji. The same ones where Initial D heroes raced at night with their headlights off so the police wouldn't spot them. Rural countryside with rice fields. Coastline with ocean views. Snow-covered passes in winter. Cherry blossoms in spring. This isn't a copy of Japan. This is Japan compressed into one map. And that's exactly what Horizon does best. Around 550 cars at launch, and among them, vehicles that have never been in the series. K-cars. Those tiny boxes that the Japanese absolutely love. Suzuki Jimny, Honda N1, Daihatsu Copen. For Western players, this might seem weird. Why would you want a tiny car with an engine under a liter in a game with supercars? But that's the whole point. Forza Horizon was never about the fastest cars. It was about the love of cars, all cars. And if you want to experience Japanese car culture, you need K-cars. For the first time in series history, you don't start as a festival star. You're a tourist. Someone who came to Japan with one dream, to make it to the Horizon Festival. The new progression system is called the Collector's Journal, inspired by Japanese collecting culture, from stamps to Pokemon. Instead of a simple task list, an album you fill up. Every car, every road, every achievement, a sticker in your journal. Sounds like a small thing, but that's exactly what makes Horizon special. Details that shouldn't matter, but somehow do. And one more thing. For the first time ever, Forza will be on PlayStation, not right away. First, Xbox and PC on May 19th. PlayStation 5, later this year. For some, this is betrayal. For Microsoft, it's new business. When Forza Horizon 5 launched on PlayStation in April 2025, it sold 3 million copies in its first 3 months. On a platform where no one ever expected to see the game. Turns out there are millions of players who want to play Forza. They just don't own an Xbox. Microsoft finally figured that out. Forza Horizon 6 is being made by 2 studios. Playground Games, main development. Turn 10 Studios, technical support. And this is an interesting story. Turn 10, the studio that created Forza, the original Forza Motorsport in 2005, a franchise that competed with Gran Turismo for 20 years. In July 2025, Microsoft laid off 70 Turn 10 employees and canceled the Forza Motorsport series. Now, Turn 10 works entirely on Horizon, alongside Playground. 2 studios became one team. How did these 2 studios end up together in the first place? To understand that, we need to go back 15 years, to the moment when 3 people decided to leave Britain's biggest racing game company. 2009. Leamington Spa, a small resort town in central England. Population, 50,000. Georgian architecture, tea shops, retirees on benches. The last place you'd expect to find the games industry. But this is where Codemasters is located, one of the oldest racing studios in the world. And this is where the people who would create Forza Horizon came from. Gavin Rathbone started programming in 1986, on a Commodore 64. He was 17. At Codemasters, he went from freelancer to head of the racing division. Colin McRae Rally, Tuca, Dirt, Grid. If you played a racing game in the 2000s, there's a good chance Rathbone had something to do with it. 23 years at one company, and in 2009, he left. With him, Ralph Fulton and Trevor Williams, also veterans. Also, people who knew racing games better than most in the world. They rented an office in that same Leamington spa, named the studio Playground Games. And they had one problem. They didn't have a game. At first, they wanted to reboot Project Gotham Racing, the cult series from Bizarre Creations. Microsoft owned the rights. Playground applied. Microsoft said no, but offered something else, a partnership with Turn 10. Working together on something new in the Forza universe. Turn 10 had been around since 2001. Microsoft created them to compete with Gran Turismo. At the helm was Dan Greenawalt, a man with the least typical background for the games industry. Before joining Microsoft, Greenawalt taught Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee's martial art. He competed in mixed martial arts tournaments. He had a bachelor's degree in comparative religion. And then, he joined Microsoft as a tester. Within a few years, he became the creative director of Forza. Turn 10 built the technological foundation, the Forza tech engine, the fuel car modeling system, physics that could compete with the best simulators. Forza Motorsport 1, 2, 3, 4, each one was a hit. Gran Turismo finally had a real competitor. But Turn 10 understood. Simulators are a niche. To reach the mass market, you need something different. They needed Playground. At E3 2010, the teams met. Playground pitched a crazy idea. Take everything Turn 10 had built, the physics, the cars, the engine, and turn it into a game about freedom. Open world, music festival, joy instead of seriousness. Turn 10 could have said no. They'd spent years building a reputation as a serious simulator. Handing the brand to newcomers, that was a risk. Greenawalt said later, "I wouldn't have trusted this partner so much if I hadn't expected them to surprise both me and our players." They took the risk. October 2012. Forza Horizon, Colorado. Not tracks, open roads. Not a championship, a music festival. Not competition, adventure. Turn 10 gave them the technology. Playground gave them the soul. 85 on Metacritic, 2 million copies sold. For a new studio with no games in their portfolio, phenomenal. But the real magic started after that. Forza Horizon 2, Southern France and Italy, 86 on Metacritic. Forza Horizon 3, Australia, 91 on Metacritic. Forza Horizon 4, Great Britain, 92 on Metacritic. The highest rating in the series. Forza Horizon 5, Mexico, 91 on Metacritic. 10 million players in the first week, 50 million total, 5 games, 5 successes, not a single flop. In the racing genre, that's unprecedented. How do they keep doing it? Need for Speed went through 6 different studios in that same time. The crew changed its concept with every installment. Gran Turismo released 2 games in 13 years. And Playground and Turn 10 just kept doing their thing, over and over, each time a little better. The secret isn't genius. The secret is consistency. One studio, one team, one vision, clear division of roles. Turn 10 handled the technology. The Forza tech engine evolved with every game. The physics got more precise. The graphics got more stunning. Playground handled the experience. The locations, the atmosphere, the music. That feeling that you're not just playing, you're there. 2 teams that complement each other, and they obsessed over the details. For Forza Horizon 3, Playground sent a team to the Australian outback for an entire summer, living in tents in the middle of the desert. They built a camera worth £100,000, 12K HDR, technology that didn't exist before, and they filmed the real Australian sky 24 hours a day. Ralph Fulton recalled, "Everything there wanted to kill them. Every hour they had to clean the camera of spiders. They crawled into every crevice. Hundreds of thousands of photos. A terabyte of data every day. So much it was impossible to send over the internet. They had to physically ship hard drives. The result, the sky in the game is real, not painted. Real clouds, real light. Who else sends people to live with spiders just for clouds in a video game?" For Forza Horizon 5, they hired Lalo Alcaraz, a cultural consultant who worked on Pixar's Coco. His job? Make sure Mexico in the game was real. Not stereotypes, not cliches. A real country with real culture. Alcaraz rewrote dialogue. Changed characters. Added stories that only make sense in Mexico. Vocho, a mission series about the Volkswagen Beetle. Why the Beetle? Because in Mexico, they call it the vocho, and it symbolizes family, resilience, an entire generation. It's not just a car, it's part of the culture. Playground commissioned original murals from Mexican artists. Each one, a real artist with their own style. They flew to Mexico, met with locals, listened to the music, ate the food, so the game would feel right. And now they're doing the same thing with Japan. Kyoko Yamashita is the cultural consultant for Forza Horizon 6. Her job, make players feel Japan, not a caricature of it. I love Japan's coexistence, she says. A temple next to a workshop next to a neon arcade, traditional and modern on the same street. The team traveled to Japan with Yamashita, saw car culture with their own eyes. Daikoku, mountain passes, nighttime Tokyo. They're adding details that instantly transport you to Japan. Train station melodies, summer furin, wind chimes. Seasonal changes that carry cultural meaning. Cherry blossoms in spring. Not just pretty, it's a celebration. Snowy winter, not just weather, it's a mood. But there's another element to this story. The place where it all happens. Leamington Spa isn't just a town, it's an ecosystem. It all started with Codemasters. In the 80s, two brothers founded a company in their father's barn, literally, where they used to keep cows. Codemasters spawned Playground, but it also spawned dozens of other studios. Nearby was Rare, creators of GoldenEye and Donkey Kong Country. Bizarre Creations shut down. Part of the team moved here. Today, Silicon Spa employs over 3,000 developers, more than 10% of the entire British games industry, in one small resort town. When Playground needs new people, they don't have to look far. Talent lives across the street. In 2018, Microsoft bought Playground Games. For many studios, getting acquired by a corporation means death, bureaucracy, management interference, loss of identity. For Playground, nothing changed. Microsoft understood one simple thing: don't mess with what works. In January 2022, Gavin Rathbone left Playground. 12 years, 5 Forza Horizon games. All of them hits. He didn't explain why, just said it was time to move on. Trevor Williams, co-founder, became the new head. And a year later, Rathbone announced a new studio, Lighthouse Games. Again in Leamington Spa. Again with Playground veterans. Again with ambition to create something new. Meanwhile, Playground is doing two things at once. Forza Horizon 6, obviously. Fable, unexpectedly. A reboot of the legendary RPG. A game fans have been waiting over 10 years for. A racing studio making a role-playing game. Sounds like a risk. But Microsoft trusts people who have proven 5 times in a row that they can do the impossible. The history of the games industry is full of examples of successful series falling apart. Need for Speed was king. Now the franchise is frozen. Midnight Club had cult status. Rockstar shut it down. Test Drive Unlimited came back after 10 years. Solar Crown got mixed reviews. Gran Turismo releases one game every 5 to 6 years. And Forza Horizon just works. Year after year. Game after game. In my Need for Speed video, I said, the key to success is identity. Knowing who you are. Knowing what you do best. And not trying to be someone else. Playground and Turn 10 understand that. Forza Horizon isn't a simulator. Not an arcade. It's a celebration of car culture. The pure joy of driving. They found their niche. And they've dominated it for 13 years. On May 19th, 2026, a new chapter begins. Japan. The country fans have been asking for 13 years. If Forza Horizon 6 is as good as the previous 5, these two studios will prove their formula works. I don't know if this will be the best Horizon. But I know one thing. If anyone can do Japan right, it's the people who sent a team to live with spiders for the sky, who hired a consultant from Coco for the culture, who built cameras that didn't exist for the clouds. These are people who obsess over details. And that's exactly why fans waited 13 years. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel. I make breakdowns like this every week. Let me know in the comments. What location would you like to see for Forza Horizon after Japan? See you next time.